We got the SacPopCast. I am Mike Snell, and I will be interviewing Alicia
Crockett.
And Alicia, why don't you tell us a little about yourself and what it is you do here in Sacramento?
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Mike. I'm grateful to be here with you, and thank
Good.
you for sharing me about your newborn. I
Oh
can't
yeah.
move away from that. That was a quick little slide. My name is Alicia Crockett, and who am I, and what do I do? So, I'm an educator. I'm a mother.
Love it.
I'm a daughter.
Love
I'm a lover. I'm a freedom finder and fighter.
Yeah.
I'm out here minding my business. I also am in transition. I recently resigned from education as an educational counselor, and I am now just, like I said, minding my freedom, expanding my range and my wings, and imagining and recalculating, if you will.
No, I
what
can
it is I
appreciate
do.
that. No, I can definitely appreciate that. I'm going through the same experience myself.
Yeah.
After my entrepreneurship journey, I kind of was cut short with the in the cannabis industry.
Mhm.
So I had a dispensary. It was a long journey, like a 6-month journey, just with no relationships, just going through the motions, figuring out along the way, finally make that peak, that ultimate goal, right?
Yeah.
Bad partnership, and then other vulnerabilities within the program.
Mhm.
So I was forced into arbitrage and had to sell. So now I'm in that transition phase where I have multiple projects going on right now, but and a couple are actually with culture. So I mean, I have the mojo back now, right? After that, you go through that stuff like, oh, but now it's like I got that mojo back, and so just go with that. So I definitely understand that it's a process because for me at that time, losing the business, my mother, I lost my mom like months before that to cancer. She's only 59. So then that, and then yeah, just family separate. So it was a lot going on in one. So I took a whole year off, and I was just
Good for you.
to myself, therapy, all that, And so 2026, this is the year I'm finally putting foot to the pavement,
Come outside on
come back outside,
Come on.
showing myself again. Yeah.
Come on.
So that's what
You
I could definitely, I
did.
know what that's like. I definitely
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Come
Yeah.
forth.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you sharing that. So I am in this place too where am I going to show up? Am I going to be seen? How are you going to come forth? And what does it look like outside of like other people's business?
Right.
I've been about other people's business working for corporate America, education for the last 25 years.
New identity.
New identity. My children are grown. 30, 25, and 22 this year. Yes. And I identify as 29. I probably should.
I was about to say, you're younger than
I might be. I might be now. But I'll be 49 this year. And so I'm in this thick of transition in so many spaces. My kids moved out recently. And so I'm empty nesting. My days are wide open because I'm not clocked in at anybody's business, 9 to 6, 9 to 5.
Right.
It's about my creativity, where I want to show up in this lane for myself because I have no responsibilities. My dog died a couple of years ago. The kids have moved out.
Now,
things are just wide open.
This is opportunity to explore just everything, like anything, any sort of interest, anything that, any new attractions, you know what I mean? This is that time to explore that.
So I've been outside with the sun.
Yep.
Just painting and creating and dancing and just eating all the things and tasting life.
Yep.
In different ways. So it's been beautiful.
It's it's rejuvenating, right?
It is.
After having an empty cup.
It is.
Just you can only be so many places in 24. And really less than that because you need at least 8 hours of sleep if you get that. But
at least 5 days. Right?
So yeah. No, I like that.
So what's exciting you about what you're working on right now?
So what I'm working on now, and that actually goes into the second question is, what are you working on right now, if that excites you? So right now, it's an equity workforce development model. So it's based on the fundamentals of the program that I went through for cannabis, right? So when cannabis became legal in 2016, the equity program that rolled out CORE was to give folks of color, obviously, right? Black people and folks and they didn't identify it by race. They identified it by zip codes that were based off a federal study that were heavily, heavily impacted by the war on drugs.
Adversely active.
Right. So with this booming industry at the time, we were the only people that were on the sideline while the folks who weren't being impacted by it are on the upside, right?
Absolutely.
So,
sideline and/or incarceration.
Right. Exactly. So, can't forget about that part, the incarceration as well, and that has an avalanche effect, on the families involved, everything else. So, based on the model, right? The pillars for equity in cannabis, it's a functional model, just the wrong industry. And I say that because I'll use my example. Me on the retail side, and I wish that was it. So with the tax law 280E, right? It's still a federally illegal business. So the income that I was making from my business, I could not report that and qualify for a mortgage. So then where's the equity? How am I building generational wealth if I have a business where I'm paying insane amount of taxes,
right?
But I'm not being able to reinvest that money into a real asset and claim that as reportable income because it's still federally illegal, even though the state and the local approves this business. Federal laws, it still doesn't fly. So that's an issue, right? When it comes to the real estate side of it, basically all parties involved on the outside of the infrastructure make the most money except for the business owner. For the rent that I was paying, $25,000 a month for a less than 1,500 square foot building, $25,000 a month, right?
Wow.
And that's just because that building was zoned in the right green zone for where it allows that business. No other industry has to deal with this but us, right?
Wow.
What else was there? I mean, there's just so many limitations with that. So with the equity model, I'm transferring now to what's relevant today, which wasn't as relevant back then. Now we have AI, right? Tech and AI. So now building pathways with that equity model for getting people within the, and it's targeting the opportunity zones in District 2, District 5, District 8. So that's Del Paso, Oak Park, and Meadowview.
Okay.
So we're targeting the idea is to target those areas and create more opportunities through tech and trades.
That's dope.
So that's obviously what I looked at part of my hiatus when I was just like observing where is the economy going? We have all this turmoil, new administration, and there's just all this shakeup. It was even a struggle for me to find like stable investments, with steady growth, just because of just the shakeup in the economy. So I'm just looking at what's lower barrier to entry. So it's not requiring a college degree, right?
Right.
With the most upside when it comes to wages. AI, you become experienced with AI integration. There's millions of businesses out there. And that's another project that I've just going through that pathway. There's another project through AI where I can help businesses enhance and strengthen their website, all kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So with integration. With the trades, right? There's 40% of the workforce in trades that is set to retire, just be generationally speaking.
There.
Excuse me. So that's a steep cliff. And the issue with that, why that correlates with the city and why that's a need for the city on both AI and tech, they have limited vendor options when it comes to the bids for the contracts for services that they need.
Okay.
So even when it comes to, let's say, the software side, I've been tracking the city's budget. The city pays millions. I mean, I'm talking millions on software that they have no control over because it's an outside company. They have what they call a vendor lock. So anything that they need done, they can't do it themselves. They have to go directly to the vendor. So you have those issues on that side with the tech. And then when it comes to the trades, you have limited vendors that can get services, whether it's street pavement, any of the public assets, parks or whatever, some stuff that a contractor, hey, I have this business, like there's not enough out there. So the bid prices are higher. When you have less competition, bid prices are higher. So what I'm trying to do is attack both ends where we're widening our workforce economy, right? While spreading the city's tax base to offset the city's budget deficit. And by offsetting their deficit through cost savings and through employee and employment tax roll all they're the same model. So that's a double whammy. And so that's my focus with it, just because honestly, on a macro scale, how I look at the U.S., we're a consumer economy. There's not much else out there that we could really build on to really generate income in this current economic turmoil that we're dealing with right now. So tech and trades, and that's what I'm focused on with that model.
Yeah.
And then there's other pillars. There's other pillars that comes with other strategic partners. The one that excites me most, it's called Agua Libre, and it's with a veteran like myself, a gentleman, Moses West, and he has this technology called an atmospheric water generator. An atmospheric water generator.
Atmospheric water generator.
So what that does is it sucks the air, and it's based off a cool HVAC system. Pulls the air out, and it basically generates water from the air. We have humidity, right? So it condenses that humidity and generates hundreds of gallons of water. So I want to place that in, again, those strategic opportunity zones where there's blighted land, and it can be used as water overlay. Because what I look at is, as we're in this high inflation, high expensive everything, the bare necessities, we're going to need water.
Absolutely, always.
So I want to be able to provide that. That's just something I'm working on right now. Sorry, I think it's my allergies, or I don't.
It's okay. Are you okay?
Someone's got me coughing right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm good.
You sure?
I swear I'm not sick. I swear I'm not sick.
Want some water? I'm not posing anywhere else. Thank you for sharing out. I have some questions for you, actually. So when you talked about that dual partnership between the
between
equity and what was it? I'm sorry, equity and was it county?
Well, the city. The city is the client, right?
The city is the client. That's what I want a clarification.
Right.
The city is your client, and then on the other side of the city, who else are you working with there?
It would be culture to help. So they're the foundation that would help me roll out the project. And that's just because of their existing community outreach, right?
Okay.
And it's something that's at a scale that's nothing I can manage by myself.
Okay.
This project gets bigger.
I
want this opportunity to just be out there, so then I can still expand on my entrepreneurship ventures with both tech and trades as well. So, it's a double up, and really it's just, again, it's an expansion on what was already existing with cannabis, but our community shouldn't have been limited to cannabis as far as an equity program. When it comes to reinvesting in the community, and that was so limiting, just from top down, from federal all the way down, like it's limited. So
why are you saying limited? Talk to
because
me about that.
You can't build generational wealth when you have federal headwind against you. When it comes to building, you can't get I'm drawing a blank at the moment, but you can't get business loans, traditional business loans.
Using cannabis funding.
You can't, there's no cannabis funding through federal. There's no federal cannabis funding. Like if you were to go through SBA, you can't get SBA money for a cannabis business.
You're right. And so, but when you were saying the revenue you're bringing in from your cannabis business, you cannot use that.
I can't even use that. I can't go to Wells Fargo and say, hey, now, if I had another business that wasn't touching like an ancillary, then yeah. But that's just another marketing or something, so that's not the same thing.
But the money you earn in your cannabis business, the revenue that was generated there, that cannot be used. Like you
can't report
to purchase property, to reinvest. And
the only way it can be used is through creative financing, like direct to owner or something like that. But not through not through traditional banking.
And why is that?
Because of the 280E tax law, where it's still a federally illegal. And so what's crazy is, put it in perspective. Yeah, I might still have it up on my Instagram, but within the first 3 quarters, so I was only open for 10 months. Before we hit our year, I had already paid over $200,000 in taxes to the city and state combined.
Within the first year?
And I'm not even a homeowner, right?
Wow.
So that's where it kind of like, where is the equity there, right? When I'm paying more. So these challenges become a revenue stream for essential programs for youth development and stuff like that, which I don't mind. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
But when I'm paying business operating tax at a higher level than Target or Walmart or any of these other ones, just because they're capped at 5,000, but because I'm in a pseudo illegal business, right? They can tax me whatever. They can have me at a 19%, 14% tax rate. And so, just looking at all the headwind when it came to it, it was just, I got out at a good time because things aren't even industry-wise, the industry isn't doing any better. So I got out at a good time. But at the timing of everything happening, of course, it's like, I've achieved this, and just to have it, the rug pulled underneath me through nefarious means and everything else. So, but obviously hindsight 2020, I realized I got out at a great time. And I'm just excited about the opportunities ahead of me right now.
Yeah, you really have a beautiful evolutionary story around your, even in the cannabis industry, and how it's still a baby.
It's still a baby.
Right?
It's still infancy.
And you being here like full circle, coming in under the core program,
right,
going through that process of learning exactly how it's working and maneuvering, and then saying, you know what, and I'm stepping back and I'm coming out of it.
What I've done too with that experience is I've submitted a core versus non-core business equity study, right? So based on just showing how, showing the difference between the non-core businesses and how they benefited, and the actual core, its intended purpose, but it's not met. And I've submitted that. I'm actually having a meeting with the assistant city manager and the economic development and innovation department April 9th. So we're going to go over everything. What I'm also trying to pull in with that research is UC Davis Center for Regional Change, CRC, okay. Center for Regional Change. And I've sent an email to them, giving them some condensed deliverables to include the research. Just ask for their support. Obviously, as I solicit this to the city, that's going to be my foundation for why my economic model is necessary. So I'm starting with the study while still working on the model, so then I can hit them, boom, boom, boom.
Absolutely.
Just like that. So
just like that.
So I wanted, so the goal is to have acknowledgement from the university level and have their support. That way I'm not just coming in as an independent research, even though all my sources are verifiable through my report and I've cited them all. But of course, for whatever possible special interest, me saying, hey, your program's failing, I may get pushed aside just because an independent researcher. So I'm trying to make sure I have all my ducks in a row, through this process. So, but it's definitely been a great journey, great eye-opening experience, learning experience that I'm grateful for it. The pain of it all, everything. I'm grateful for all of it.
Sounds like you birthed some things.
Oh yeah,
in this
definitely.
process.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah,
big time.
In addition to the newborn that you have.
Absolutely, absolutely. Girl dad now.
Come on, girl dad. It's about to be a thing.
Oh my gosh.
How'd you know?
She's the queen now.
She is, and she needs your attention.
She's the queen now.
So you have a whole other mission.
Her brothers, her big brothers, they know I'm like, hey, she's in charge.
So how many kids do you have now?
This is my third. So I have he'll be 17 this year. I have a 17-year-old, a 16 going on 17-year-old son. He was my firstborn, and he lives in Phoenix.
Okay.
And that was when I had him out 21, and I was 2.5, 3 years into my military career at the time.
Okay.
So I served 12 years in the Air Force.
Thank you very much.
And so, he's, it's just crazy thinking about that. He's on his way to college, and I'm wrapping up some tech certifications that is kind of pushing me to want to go into an undergrad program. So then I'm like, it might be interesting we both be in the college at the same time.
Do it.
And I think that'd be a cool experience, because we never lived together. We've always lived out of state from each other. So,
oh wow.
I think that'd be a great experience. We laugh and joke about it now. Like, just think about like that. Like, I was like, all right, look, man, we'll both apply to the same colleges, and we'll see what happens. So
cool. And you both can do it.
Yeah.
Is he local to Sacramento with you?
No, he's in Phoenix.
Okay.
He wants to come to Sac City for JUCO if he doesn't get a scholarship out the gate. So just come out here, do the JUCO, get the general ed out the way, and then And I'm like, I'm encouraging. I'm like, look, man, even if you don't get a scholarship, don't get beat up. I was like, I have enough relationships out here, man. We can get you an internship, whatever you need to build that resume and make it, highly competitive for the next go round.
Absolutely. So, and what is he doing in college?
It's in high school. He plays football and runs track.
Nice.
And I prefer him to go the track route, obviously for safety and everything else. And so, but he loves football. So, we'll see. We'll see what God has in store for him. It's all up to him. It's his choice. So we'll see what happens.
And you're leading the way, and that's dope that you're right here in alignment with him, so that y'all can be in the same space at the same time, elevating.
I'm building what I can over here. So then it's like, hey, I got this. I got these opportunities here. This is all I got to work with. You can get with this, then let's make it bubble. If not, hey, I'm sure you'll figure out just like your dad did. So
yes, and that's amazing. So and you're continuing to model for him,
right?
What that looks like to continue to reinvest, reinvent,
figures.
And it's never too late.
The transitions. I mean, like I said, from military then to entrepreneurship, and it just the transitions. It doesn't stop. And so I'd say it's like every 5-year cycle for me. Like every 5 years, there's old parts of me that I have to, I got to let go of.
And that's about right.
I got to let go of. And sometimes I struggle with it more than, some things I struggle with more than others. But, it's having that awareness that, for that growth, some other parts you got to go.
Just like anything, right? In order for us to make room for something new, you got to clear some things out. Whether it's the garage, the seasons.
Like the seasons, trees, right?
The trees.
All that.
Plants. Yes. Everything has a season.
Yeah.
That's dope. And so you have your 17-year-old son, your baby girl.
Yeah. And then I have, and that's a previous relationship. And then the most current is Miguel and Isel.
Miguel and Isel?
Isel, yeah.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
How do you spell Isel?
Isel, Izel.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, Isel. Yeah.
Isel.
Now that means unique, one of one.
Yeah. Where'd you get that from?
So we were looking.
You better get ready.
Yeah, no, we were looking.
She's the only daughter too?
Only daughter, yeah. We were looking, and I
one of one.
Her mom wanted her to be Mighty Soul, and I'm like, look, man, I respect the culture on that end, right? But my family ain't having no Mighty Soul just walking around that Mighty Soul. We having this little around like, so it's not. I'm just letting you know, it's not going down like that right now. We got a Miguel. She didn't want to go with Michael, so I was like, all right, well, we got a Miguel. So Mighty Soul, I don't. That may not fly. So then we found one that pairs well with Mighty Soul, and Isel Mighty Soul.
Isel Mighty Soul.
And we did some digging online, obviously, and I forgot how we came across it, but the definitions was stood out. We were like, this is the one. This is the one.
That's a beautiful name.
Yeah.
Isel.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. That's one of one.
One of one.
Absolutely.
Yep. Right.
Yes. What does Sacramento mean to you? With all these transitions that you've been in and where you at right now today?
I've heard other entrepreneurs say it too. It's a love-hate thing just because of Sacramento is a beautiful place. But there's these conspiracies that float around. There's these things, right, that just kind of circumvent, and it can shift the experiment or the experience of Sacramento, right?
Say more.
But the bottom line that I realized is that's going to be anywhere, right?
Yeah.
So the goal is staying rooted in community,
yeah,
right? That will keep you in that, focus on that North Star.
Absolutely.
And that's what's been keep me inspired to come back out and be, back in the, because like I said, when you go through loss and you just want to separate, and then you're just kind of like, I'm not ready to get myself out there anymore. I'm just not there yet. I'm not ready to share energy. Like I'd rather just be selfish right now, keep that to myself. But I know I've been gifted with a lot through those experiences, and so it's only right that I put it to constructive use. So
what do you want people to remember about you, Mike?
Man, I never think about stuff like that. Like, what do I want people to remember about me?
Yeah, just one.
I'm a go-getter. I I'm undefeated at the end of the day, you know, like,
Come on,
like, you know, like at the end of the day, like I'm undefeated just because it's like, there's nothing that stopped me yet, you know, every block I've just, I found a way around, you know, and so, I had this vision of like, man, you know, I was going to have this, then open up a grocery store, but you know, I may have my idea, but then there's always God's plan, right?
Come on.
So, at the end of the day, I realized that vision really wasn't the big goal. I mean, that wasn't my big intended destiny, right?
Which vision?
Just being a cannabis dispensary owner. Now, I mean, at the hindsight, like I look at it like that wasn't for me. Maybe for other people, you know, but now I look at it like that's why I went into it solo, because it you know, really wasn't for me. If it was for me, I would have had the right community around me and everything. It wasn't for me. And so that's why I went into it. I was in it solo by myself and, you know, got picked apart. So, but nonetheless, the experience, what I learned priceless lessons, you know.
And what I would offer you too in this conversation, because you talked about JUCO and you and your son enrolling into education here on this side, even with this experience with the cannabis business opportunity, that also sounds like you were in a lightweight PhD program on how to be you and what it is that makes you fly and float and what drives your interest.
Right.
And where you really want to see yourself in alignment for the bigger picture. Like you say, what you can even do with that's so fascinating what you talked about, how you cannot reinvest revenue from cannabis income because of the different yellow tapes around federality.
It's got to be creative. You can't do it in a traditional means. It's got to be creative. It's all got to be some creative way. And so,
and so it sounds like, just from listening to you and the work that I do, that you have found this evolutionary space. Like I said, you have a dope ass story around how you've come to this full circle moment in this cannabis process, but to be right where you are and arriving in this
economic development workforce. I mean, it's bigger. It's bigger than that. And that's why it's like, the model is bigger than me. And that's what I appreciate about it the most, is it's fallen in alignment with, like, I'm in school for tech certifications, and then I'm slotted for trades apprenticeship for heavy equipment operations with the local 3 union. And so I'm walking the walk and talking the talk at the same time, you know, through the education and the experience background. And
absolutely.
So, I don't feel the imposter syndrome that I kind of still felt even through cannabis, like navigating, just because there was still a lot I knew I needed to learn, but everything was such a nuance. Like, you know, we're building this plane while we're flying, you know, we're building this plane as we're coming down, you know, so
we're building the plane while we're flying,
while we're falling, right?
So fast.
And so it taught me a lot about, you know, relationships when it comes to business, you know, and just how to really not get so caught up in the hype of things too. Even people that say they got your back, you know, it's just everything, loyalty, you know, all that. So this whole experience, I think it was the hardening that I needed to push forward with this new model that is, like I said, bigger than me, and I think will create a huge, like, transformation here in the Sac community.
It sounds like you're building infrastructure.
Yeah.
So
that's the goal.
It's amazing.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. So where can people find you? How can they get connected to you?
Man, you know what? I haven't had any official. I haven't done any new official Instagram or anything like that. But I'm at Mike Snell. You can find me Mike Snell Instagram and Facebook.
And how do you spell
Snell? Snell.
All right.
Yeah. So at Mike Snell. Yeah.
At Mike Snell.
Yeah.
All right. Folks gonna be looking for you. I'm gonna check you out too.
Yeah.
Where you at?
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing, Mike.
How did you know? I just realized you ended up interviewing me. I like how that went.
Everything is flow.
But it flowed so well.
It's all flow.
It flowed so well.
Yep. Because you came here to show up.
Right.
Because that's what we came here to do.
Yeah.
So you did that. So thank you for sharing out with your concepts and your brain space.
SacPopCast.
SacPopCast, baby. We in the building.
With Alicia.
Mike. We did the thing today.
You smooth with what? Smooth with that like dick. I was like, hold on, well, we got to get back to it. I was like, we should have walked we through the whole.
You did it. Did we talk for 30 minutes?
Damn.
That was good, Mike.
That was good.
That was great. I'm glad you came and shared
that was really good.
And thank you for sharing your story, your innovation.
No, likewise.
That's powerful.
No, likewise, just because, it's that, am I the only one going through? You know what I mean? And so that's, that's part of that, do I want to step, do I want to, part of that new identity, right?
And one thing I didn't say is I resigned from community college, and so educational counseling.
Right.
So you talking about you and your son getting to school together? That's amazing. You got the right one today.
Okay.
You really want to connect off.
No, for sure. No, for sure. Absolutely.
That is dope, and that's absolutely doable.
My God.
For you and your son to do that.
Because
for both of y'all too.
It's a struggle right now just to try to walk that path from the distance, for various reasons. But I just want to have the relationships necessary. So once certain things are out the way and it's like, son, come this way. I got you. Let's wiggle, I want to have everything in place,
And don't forget too, Mike, that he needs you now.
Right.
Just like you need him now, more than ever.
No, I know. I know.
Especially I heard you say that you all haven't never lived in the same state, that is out of state relationship. Yeah. And so that's important for you too. And as you're in this transitional space as a man, as a new father and girl dad, it's a whole nother level. Yeah. I am the only daughter to my father, with all brothers. They trust.
Yeah.
The thing is, she's gonna grow up knowing she's one of one. And my name doesn't say that, but that's what I absolutely love most. I'm one of one.
Right.
Because when you know.
Yeah.
And my father taught me that.
Yeah.
So with you having your older son and him being my father also had a son from a previous relationship.
Right.
And so I was that bridge for my dad and my older brother as a daughter for them to come together.
That's what I'm hoping.
But that was when I was like 20. You see what I'm saying? So you have an opportunity to bring your son in now as time and length aligns. Right. She gets to know her brother early in life before she becomes an adult.
Yeah. Because, him and Miguel, my oldest son, Terrace, him and Miguel.
Your oldest son's name is what?
Terrace.
Terrace? Mm-hmm. My older brother's name is Taryn.
Oh, Terrace. Okay, nice. So Terrace and Miguel loves his older brother. Yeah. Like they basically, he just gets so hyped up about his older brother. So I want that same excitement and I want to say involvement or engagement, connection, right? With themselves. So,
invite them in.
My
father also served in the Air Force.
Oh, nice. Yeah, but it's going through a lot because I'm dealing with I had to petition for my parental rights. Me and his mom, we never did the court thing, but things got weird after I started a business and.
Well, he's a young man now. I'm gonna touch you. He's a young man now, and you got access to his soul.
Yeah. No.
A direct line.
I've gotten tidbits where I've realized he's letting me know like that. No, I see the picture. He's like, I know you're here for me.
And it's not too late. He's only 16.
Yeah. Yeah.
How old are you?
38.
38. Okay, you're wrong.
Yeah.
He's almost sweet. And just imagine all that you've experienced up until 38.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So your baby is only 16. You still have all of his time with him. And it's never too late. And you have this little girl here now who needs both her big brothers and her daddy.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah. The part of your infrastructure that you're building.
Yeah.
That's it.
No, it gets hectic. It's hard. It's really hard because there's so many firsts that I just wanted to, I wanted.
With him. And create those.
And we still have that. And like you said, that's what I do keep in mind. We still have.
And the beauty too is that he also gets to come towards you with what he wants. You get to come towards him with what he wants, what you want. And then you all get to co-curate this father-son experience with each other.
Because I can have what I want, but it's important to have his input, his visions. Absolutely.
See your best friend?
Yeah.
And here, I can see it. He's your best friend.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my man.
I can see that. Well, listen, Mike, thank you so much. It's been real.
Look, I need to get some water. Thank you, Alicia. No.
Good for you.
How do I get in touch with you?
Let me give you my phone number. I'm not me on social media too. For developing my business lane. Let's show phone number. Get your number.
916? Cheat.